377 miles to go. It's time for the last leg of our trip. It is morning. We are leaving the Best Western Plus here in North Little Rock, Arkansas. We had a pleasant stay. The hotel was kind of full because there's a lot of, looks like construction workers staying here, so the parking lot was a little crowded when we got here. But the night was very quiet, no problems at all with that, and the parking lot's empty and breakfast is empty because they all went to work already. Everything was great except the fire alarm that went off at 5 in the morning, right?
Yeah.
The alarm just starts blazing and blaring, and we get up and we're super groggy, and we get out of bed, we put on our shoes and start toward the door, and it turned off.
Yeah.
And we both looked at each other, shrugged, and went back to sleep.
Yeah,
sure. So that was it. They did have an EV charger here, but it was, as I mentioned in the last video, it was 10 cents more per kilowatt hour than a supercharger was. So we just charged a little bit more in Brinkley last night while we had a little bit to eat. But we don't have enough power to get to Hope, Arkansas, which is our next planned supercharging stop. So we're going to hit a supercharger here on the other side of Little Rock, and that should give the car time to precondition because it's a good 10 miles away, and if I plug it into the route plan, it'll precondition on the way there. We shouldn't be there for more than just a few minutes, but I think if I looked at the route plan last night, it's having us do fewer charging stops than I had on the route plan, which has been par for the course on this trip, but we'll top off here in Little Rock, charge in Hope, and then I think Sulphur Springs, which means we're not going to be stopping at the Buc-ee's in Royce City, but Sulphur Springs should be able to get us home. So 2.5 charging stops with this little one in Little Rock. So let's put the route plan in. So as a bit of an update, we're currently at 2,314 miles on this trip so far. We are going to navigate home. And right now it has us stopping at Little Rock Supercharger for half an hour to be able to go all the way to Nash, Texas, down here by Texarkana. And I don't know, maybe we do want to do that. I was hoping to just get enough charge to get to Hope, Arkansas. I was hoping to get to Hope. And I do want to get to Hope. So I'm going to go in and edit the trip. And I'm going to add the supercharger in Hope, Arkansas, and put it before our house and go. And now we shouldn't have to be in Little Rock quite as long. It still wants us to stop in Nash, which is a super short hop from Hope. It will probably recalculate that. And then it says the Royce City, which is a Buc-ee's. Last night it said Sulphur Springs. But anyway, so we'll be at that charger. It is 14 miles and 18 minutes away here in Little Rock. That'll be plenty of time for the car to precondition. And we're sitting at 51%, which is what we were sitting at when we got here last night. So we lost no power in terms of battery percentage overnight, and that's with everything turned off and not waking the car up. We'd let the car sleep. So you ready to go?
Let's do it.
All right. About 14 miles, I think, or something like that, to this charger outside of Little Rock. It looks like we're in an outlet mall, and we're plugged in. The car currently says we've got 3% on arrival in Hope, so we won't be here long. But we have a couple of hitchhikers in our car. We picked up a few mosquitoes in Brinkley, Arkansas, and I thought I got them all out before we left Brinkley, but sure enough, there's a mosquito in here that we need to get rid of, and there's a little spider that's hanging from our rearview mirror. And he doesn't seem to be interested in eating the mosquitoes. So we're going to try to see if we can tell him, hey, this is your stop. And we'll see what's up. But let's check what's going on with the car. We're at 43%. It says 10 minutes to continue the trip, but our next stop is in Hope, Arkansas. We're already 3% on arrival. It's 99 miles away, and we're at 113 miles indicated. So I do not, there we go. It just went down to 5 minutes automatically. Well, not automatically, but really quickly. We're not getting maximum charge speed because we're, you know, in the middle of the pack right now. So we just want a little bit of juice to have that 15% on arrival showing when we get to Hope. So let's see if we can't evacuate our hitchhikers. Usually Rachel likes to clean up random trash at charger locations, but this is just a little bit much. We are getting rid of our trash. The closest trash can is way over there by that building. And that is why they need trash cans by these things, but oh my God, I don't think I've ever seen one that has as much trash as this.
It's starting to feel like Texas. We've got big, clear blue sky, extremely bright sun. We didn't have that when we were further east.
And we're starting to feel some heat too.
Yeah.
We just now got the message that we are done charging.
Okay.
So I'm going to unplug. Get back on the road. That was a nice catch.
Good job, good job.
There we go, it's in now. 17% on arrival. Let me pull up some charge stats. $3.13. We plugged in at 9:19, it's 9:24, so 5 minutes. So what I did is I hit end trip and re-navigated to home, and now it has us stopping in Hope and Sulphur Springs, just like it did last night. So 2 more charge stops, and then we will be on our way.
Yay.
We're at Hope, Arkansas, and I'll tell you a little bit of something about where we're at as soon as I get plugged in. Come on. Come on. All right. So let's get some stats first, and then I'll tell you the story. We are at 16% is what we got when we arrived here, is where our state of charge when we arrived here. 20 minutes to continue the trip. We have a 128-mile leg ahead of us to Sulphur Springs, Texas. So 2 years ago, when we were first doing one of these long trips, our only EV was a Fiat 500 when we were planning it, and it can't do it. So a friend of ours was going to loan us a 2019 Model 3, and so the first trip plan that we had was with the Tesla. That car could really only do 130 miles maximum between charge stations, and from the last one in Texarkana to Little Rock, it would be too far. And this supercharger wasn't here then. So he was going to give us his CHAdeMO adapter so we could use the Electrify America that's on the other side of the freeway. As it turns out, the last 2 years, we had our Bolt to do these trips, and that EA was a stop for us both times. The first year we stopped there on the way out and on the way back, and there's a Holiday Inn Express right next to it that we spent the night at. And this is where we would start our final leg, is here in Hope. But now we've got this new supercharger with a lot of stalls in an Exxon parking lot that's got a Wendy's attached to it. So we're probably gonna go get some food, even though we just had breakfast a couple hours ago, because our next charge stop is in is by a city hall, and there's not really gonna be food at City Hall. So we'll go get some food, come out and see where we're at when we get our order to go. So we have 3 minutes to go until we can continue our trip. We went in, used the facilities, got some food at the Wendy's. What were you going to say about this particular charging location?
Well, it's very convenient to have the chargers at a gas station. Obviously, the amenities that grow up around gas stations are there for the convenience of travelers, and so often our electric chargers are just not near those amenities. So I really appreciate that they just put them right there with the people that are getting fuel, because we get to share the amenities with them.
Yeah, and check this out. Over here, there's something that we don't usually see, and I don't think we've seen at a charge stop yet. on this entire trip, and it's our next to last one.
Oh yeah.
Squeegees.
Hey, do you want me to clean your windows?
We haven't had rain for a while.
Do you want me to clean your
So
windows?
I think we're gonna try to clean the windows.
All right, let's do that.
So they have squeegees, but they're bone dry. There's no water.
Yeah.
And by the time we go over there, it won't matter. We'll be done charging. So
All right, nice
womp
try.
womp.
Nice try. Here,
There was one right behind us. I'll do it.
I got it.
I'll do it. I got the longer reach.
All right.
There we go. Get some of the bugs from Western Tennessee off. And yeah, it's not gonna work.
It does not work.
Yeah. Because we haven't had rain for a while.
Yeah, it's definitely feeling like the Southwest now. I mean, we're still technically in Arkansas, but it's starting to feel very Texas-like.
But we'll be at the Texas state line in about 30 miles. We're at exit 30.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to hit the washer.
Yeah. I mean, it's hot. The sky is clear and blue. The sun is kind of harsh. It is still greenish, but that won't last. Yeah, we've been in rain pretty much the entire time.
Basically from when we left Charlottesville, Virginia, until Nashville.
Well, even before that. I mean, when we were there at our event, it was raining there the entire time.
Yeah.
So it's just been like the sunshine feels unfamiliar now.
The joy of relying on your phone to unlock the car.
Sorry about you, man.
And we have enough to continue the trip. So let me unplug, let's see where we're at. 17% on arrival in Sulphur Springs. So we're gonna unplug, hang the charger up, down it goes. We're going to get on the road and eat our food. Next stop is Sulphur Springs. It's about 128 miles. We might have an unscheduled stop for a bio break in between here and there. But off we go.
We're approaching the state line from Arkansas into Texas. Just passed a sign that was talking about the Texas tourist information. Probably saw that.
Well, there's a sign of Texas on the freeway. They put a Texas state shape on the concrete.
Yeah.
And now we're at exit 222. Here is the sign. We've already crossed the state line.
It says,
Welcome to Texas. Drive friendly the Texas way. Tell that to all these people right here in between the K-rails and the guardrail.
Yeah, I don't know where anybody decided that driving friendly was the Texas way.
Definitely. Ooh, debris. Oof. We have arrived in Sulphur Springs, Texas. Long way off the freeway, but through a really nice downtown small town. We arrived at 13% state of charge with 33 miles indicated. That last leg was 131 miles. Our efficiency was 250 watt hours per mile. Total for the trip, 2,560 miles so far. An efficiency of 245 watt hours per mile, a hair over 4 miles per kilowatt hour, over 2,500 miles so far. And we have 148 miles to go until we're home. Let's get plugged in. This is a quaint supercharger area. This is a version 2 supercharger, so it's been here a while. Come on. That's couple in a row, it seems like, that the little button hasn't opened my door. Blue light. And we also haven't used very many version 2 superchargers on this trip. So there's this one, because of the silver ring. Still blue, still trying to connect. There we go. Now we're charging. There we go, we've got 88, 101 kilowatts, 111. Is this gonna top out at 125 or go higher? Nope, it'll go higher. So it's gonna get up to close to 150. 145, looks like that's about it. Okay. So this says 20 minutes remaining to continue the trip. All right, Rachel.
Yeah.
What do you think about this little town that we're in right now?
It's really cute, very nice. I'm kind of looking forward to walking around and taking a look. First of all, we did get some footage of the courthouse, which of course is beautiful. Texas courthouses in small towns tend to be really interesting, but they also have some really nice little downtown street businesses that are kind of cool. We'll take a look. So I'm just struck at how the sky and the weather is such a contrast here in Texas compared to further east where we were all week long. You can just tell this is Texas. The sky is big, the sky is blue. What clouds there are white and fluffy. The sun is very bright, very warm. It's just extremely different from that rainy, constantly cloudy, chilly weather that we had in Virginia and surrounding areas. This is the sort of, I guess it's a gentrified downtown area that I really enjoy. I hope that the money is staying here in the local community and not being sucked out by, out-of-town owners, but it's very pleasant.
Look at how close cut this grass is on this lawn.
This is not AstroTurf, this is actual grass.
That's like actual grass.
It looks like it's maybe a newly revitalized area. You saw a couple of places that looked like they were still under construction or had coming soon signs, but most of the bays were filled with what looked like really nice, cute little boutique style businesses. A few restaurants, coffee shops, clothing shops, that sort of thing. Really cute.
It's right over there, over your shoulder.
Yeah.
Just a short walk from here and all of that. And we were gone for I don't know how long, but the car still has about 5 minutes left. And then it has us staying on Interstate 30. We have enough energy to continue the trip until we get to Greenville. And then it diverts us. No, it changed its mind.
It's keeping us on 30.
It changed its mind.
That's what we would.
It was having us go down here to Terrell and then take 20. And I don't want to go through downtown Dallas. If I'm wrong, there's 2 superchargers on 20 that it'll divert us to. Okay. So let's go ahead and unplug. Okay, so right now, right when I was trying to do that little last clip, it had us diverting onto that side road and going down to Interstate 20, which I thought it'd be kind of fun. But I definitely do not want to take Interstate 30 through downtown Dallas and downtown Fort Worth in the afternoon. That's going to be a headache. So we're going to take Interstate 20 no matter what our navigation says. And if we don't have enough charge to get home, we've got 2 superchargers in the Arlington Grand Prairie area, and it'll divert us to one of those, no problem. So we've still got almost 150 miles to go. We're probably going to need to stop one more time for us, but this should be the last time that we have to stop for the car. And if we're wrong, we'll have another quick charge stop. And we'll, somewhere along this last leg, we'll do one of our drive and talk segments and kind of wrap the trip up. But this should be our last charging stop, so let's get back going. We have made our last highway interchange. We're back on the Chisholm Trail Parkway, which is our last highway to home. Our exit is coming up in 10 miles, and then we're back on our county roads. According to our navigation, we are 16 miles away from home, and we have, well, now 15 miles. It just ticked over to 15. And we have driven 2,685 miles, which means that when we pull into our driveway, the total trip should show 2,700 miles. Not 2,701 or 2,699, but 2,700 miles, dead even. Our average efficiency is at 244 watt hours per mile, which is going to work out to just a hair under 4.1 miles per kilowatt hour, which is really good efficiency. I think that can be attributed to the temperatures that we had for the vast majority of the trip. The vast majority of the trip we were around the low 70s until we got back into Texas, and now it's 93 degrees. It was 96 about an hour ago. Anything, how was the trip for you, Rachel?
Overall, it was a nice trip. Obviously, it was long. It was a longer trip than previous ones, although the fact that the Tesla is so fast in terms of charging made it possible for us to do the trip in roughly the same amount of time.
And I don't think a faster charging vehicle would benefit us.
No, because we can't keep up with the car.
No,
we talked about this a little bit earlier, that the car charges so fast that we literally can't even go to the restroom and grab a snack in the amount of time that it takes for this car to be ready to go. So we ended up, especially if the facilities are far away from where the charger is, it just takes time to walk there and then walk back. So what we end up doing is we just stand there and wait the 5 or 10 minutes it takes for the charge cycle to be complete,
and then we go,
and then we just pull off at a rest stop where
we walk walk a little bit less, and we can get in and out quicker, and it doesn't cost us anything because we don't feel like we need to buy anything at the gas station that we're at or the mall that we're at or anything like that. There were a couple of times when we would get back from our walk into the facilities, and we'd have some time left on the car, but it was usually 2 or 3 minutes, and we were grateful to have that 2 or 3 minutes of extra break to just kind of walk around. So there are cars that charge faster. There are Teslas that charge faster than our base model 2022, but this is as fast as we need in terms of the charging. In terms of drama during the charging, there's no drama at a Tesla supercharger. They were never, any of them, anywhere near full. Never had a broken one, not one single one. The version 2 superchargers take a little bit longer to initialize the charge than the version 3s do, but not by much. We're talking maybe 10 seconds more, maybe 15. But didn't have a single problem fast charging. Where the drama was on charging was at the ones that usually never have drama. They were at the hotels. Mm-hmm. Every single one, there was just a little bit of drama around the charging.
Yeah, when Luke was planning the hotels, he was looking on Expedia, and they have a little checkbox for certain amenities that you want, and so he would check off that he needed to have a charging network, and a lot of them say they have it, but it's not a priority for the hotel. Apparently, it's not a huge selling point for them, or if it is, they're not aware of it, so they just don't seem to make it a priority.
Now let me address something that someone might comment about. Is no, I did not verify those chargers on PlugShare because of our experience last year. We needed a hotel with a EV charger in Meridian, Mississippi for our Bolt when we took this trip last year, and PlugShare showed nothing in the area at all. Expedia showed that there were a couple of hotels that had level 2 charging overnight, but because I clicked that filter, and I wasn't all that trusting then, so I went through every picture that Expedia had for the hotel until I saw a picture with the EV chargers in it before I booked the hotel, and that gave me a little bit more trust with Expedia. Had I gone through the extra steps for PlugShare, that would have taken care of 2 of them. The drama at the second hotel we stayed at in Radford, Virginia was it wasn't a simple level 2 charger or even a Tesla destination charger that was free charging for the overnight stay. It was a charge point installation of 4 level 2 plugs. With me doing my self-inflicted damage on my Apple account and not being able to access any of my apps, we had to have Rachel download the app while we're standing in the parking lot of this hotel at almost 11 o'clock at night, and then finally got the charge started. And since we were having to pay for it, I didn't want to leave it plugged in after it was done charging. So I set an alarm to get myself up an hour earlier than I had planned so that I could move the car away from the charger. And then again, last night in Little Rock, it was, I forget the name of the network, but it was also pay to charge. And we were going to actually get a decent amount of sleep, so I didn't want to wake up at 3 hours before when I was going to be getting up to move the car, especially since it cost more per kilowatt hour at that level 2 charger at the Best Western Plus than it did at the Tesla Supercharger. So those two, not great. The free charger was the one in Alabama, and there was even drama at it because of the renovations that the hotel was doing and the fact that they literally blocked the chargers with toilets. Big pallets of toilets, and had the construction workers ice the other 4 plugs so no EVs parked there. And
that's what I mean when I say it's not a priority for them. This is one where we had information from the desk clerk that the owner specifically blocked the EV chargers because they wanted to use it as a staging area for their renovation supplies, and that was completely unnecessary and extremely rude. And
it was information they did not share with the night manager. The night manager said, oh, the general manager says they're broken anyway, so...
They were not.
And they were not, and so I was like, well, they're not broken, and I can fit the car here, so I'm going to plug in. And it wasn't until I had gotten the charge and had unplugged and moved the car the following morning that I found out that the general manager told the construction workers to block those spaces, because he wanted them used for all of the renovation materials.
Right, so clearly they didn't care about the people who were booking their hotel on purpose so that they could use those chargers. They didn't seem to think that that was a significant amount of their business, and maybe it isn't, but it was for us.
Right.
We drove in and we were like, look, if we can't charge here, we're not going to stay here. Literally, we have to find some other hotel, and I expect to get a refund.
Yeah.
We tried not to be rude about it, but seriously, that's why we picked that hotel. So
I'm grateful for FSD on the rest of the drive. I didn't think I needed it until we did that first day of 750-ish miles to Gadsden, Alabama, and I was like, I need to get FSD. And it's the same old version we had during the trial. Since we haven't had the car near our home Wi-Fi, it hasn't been able to get a software update to get a more recent version of Full Self-Drive. It hasn't said it's got a software update available or anything like that, and it probably will after the car's sitting in our driveway tonight. But right now it's 12.3.6, which is what we had in May. I did turn on minimal lane changes, and it's been less likely to want to just drive in the left lane all the time. Thanks for the comments that advised me on that. One thing I learned is you can't make the car drive faster than it wants to in the rain. Speed limit is 70 miles an hour. It is only going to go 75 if it's raining too hard and will not let you go. It's like the car says, I don't wanna, you can't make me, la 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 la, and it's just not going to do it. But it was great to have, especially on those long stretches of the drive, and it was more relaxing for the long drive than it was on the very first day when we didn't have it. So there's that. That was great. So any final thoughts on the trip?
Overall, I love road tripping with the Tesla. It was a long trip, and I think if I'd had my preferences, I would not have wanted to have to drive that far to where we were going.
If the reason for this trip is in the same location next year, I'm already thinking of a different plan. To kind of break it up a little bit more.
Yeah, most of the other people that had to drive a similar distance broke it up longer. Like they left their homes earlier and spent more time like sightseeing along the way so that they didn't have such long days of driving one after the other.
Yeah.
And that's probably what we'll end up having to do in order to make it just not such a tedious trip.
And no issues with storm aftermath or anything like that.
No.
For us, anyway.
Not for us. I'm sure other people had plenty of issues.
We were far away from the hardest hit areas, and we do know that they were hard hit. And the convoys of electrical service trucks, bucket trucks that we saw, kind of let us know where all that was. So. Our trip is done. If you have questions, let us know. Give us some stories of your EV road trips down in the comments. I'm going to have one more part of this video coming up that I'll release next week, where I do more of a detailed comparison of road tripping this car this year versus road tripping our Bolt last year on almost the same route. We did go further, but while we were going to where we went last year, it was the same route there and the same route back. I may or may not have all the stats for the return trip, but I have them for the trip out, so I can do a comparison to actually, we already know that this car charges faster than the Bolt, and a lot of people will agree, Bolt owners will agree, that the Bolt charges slow, but I will tell you exactly how much slower that comparison would be on next week's video. So be sure you subscribe so that you can see that. And thanks for watching, y'all. We are almost home.